You ever feel like a punchline Gotham? Like the universe spent years setting up a joke, and you're the guy getting the pie in the face? Well, the joke isn't funny anymore. 9 days. 9 little rotations of this miserable rock. That's all that's left of the old me. People think broken is a permanent state. They think you just stay in pieces on the floor. But they forgot that when you break a mirror, you don't get less reflection, you get 1,000 tiny blades. I'm done being the victim of the setup. It's time for the punchline. Most people spend their lives trapped in the loop of a pathetic little song, a mournful dirge they whistle in the dark. Dark, while they wait for someone to come and pat them on the head. They stare at the ceiling with tears in their eyes, whispering, "Why is this happening to me?" It's the ultimate human obsession, isn't it? The desperate need for the universe to provide a receipt for its cruelty. They want a reason. They want a logic. They want a cosmic balance sheet that explains why they were the ones chosen to be crushed under the heel of circumstance. I'll let you in on a little secret. I used to sing that song too. I used to think that if I could just find the root of the misery, I could pull it out like a weed. But I've realized that why is the deadliest trap ever set. It's a velvet-lined cage that keeps you looking backward, neck craned, staring at the smoking wreckage of your former life. It's a ghost hunt. You're looking for meaning in the debris, hoping to find a reason. That makes the pain make sense. But all you're doing is standing still while the world moves on to find someone else to break. In these 9 days, we aren't just changing a mindset, we are committing a murder. We are killing the why. We are taking that whiny, sniveling question out behind the tool shed and putting it out of its misery. Because as long as you are asking why, you are a victim. You are someone who things happen to. You are a passive character in your own tragedy, waiting for a narrator to explain the plot. But when you trade why for what's next, the entire air in the room changes. It's like a cold wind blowing through a stagnant house. What's next doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about the unfairness of the past. It's a forward moving engine. It's the sound of a hammer being cocked. When you stop looking for the cause of your brokenness, you start looking for the utility of it. When you stop asking for permission to be hurt. When you stop waiting for the world to apologize for what it did to you. You find a very specific, very sharp kind of power. You become dangerous. Why? Civilized people. Because a man who doesn't need his pain to make sense is a man who cannot be controlled by it. If you don't need then you don't need the sympathy. And if you don't need the sympathy, you don't need the society that provides it. You break the leash. You stop being a tragedy that people watch with pity from the safety of their living rooms. A tragedy is something that has already happened. It's a closed book, a dusty play, a sad memory. I'm done with that. I'm not a tragedy anymore. I'm an event. I am something that is happening right now on a force of nature that doesn't require a backstory to be felt. In these 9 days, I am shedding the skin of the sufferer and becoming the storm itself. The wreckage isn't behind me anymore. It's whatever I decide to walk toward next. Being broken is such a terrifying word to the sane people, isn't it? They treat it like a death sentence. Like a drop plate can never be glued back together quite right, people. They see a void where a person used to be, and they recoil in horror because they fear the emptiness. But they're missing the punchline. They don't see the absolute, shimmering beauty of the void. You see, most people are weighed down by the clutter of their lives, their reputations, their mortgages, their pathetic little hopes, and the heavy furniture of their identities. They spend every waking moment guarding those things, terrified that a single gust of wind might knock a knack off the shelf. But when you're broken, Gotham, the shells are gone, the walls are gone. The floor has dropped out from under you, and you finally, mercifully, hit the bottom. You know what I found down there in the dark? It's solid. It's the only place in this world where you can't fall any further, and that is where the real fun begins. Empty hands are the easiest to clench into fists. That's the secret they keep from you in those padded cells. When you have everything, you are a slave to the maintenance of it all. You're a caretaker for your own cage, these civilized people. But when the world strips you bare, when it breaks you down until there's nothing left but a hollow echo, you are finally, for the first time in your miserable life, free. You have the freedom of the ghost. You can walk through walls because you no longer care if they stand. You can do anything, absolutely anything, because you have nothing left to lose. There is no more too far. There is no more what if. The void isn't a hole you fall into. It's a space you fill with whatever chaotic color you choose. In these 9 days, I am not mourning the things that were taken from me. I am laughing at the space they left behind. I'm cleaning house, throwing out the scrap metal of my old soul to make room for something much more loud. People fear the vacuum, but I've learned to love it. A vacuum sucks everything into it, doesn't it? It has a hunger that never ends. By embracing the void, these civilized people, I've stopped being the thing that gets pushed around and started being the thing that pulls the world in. For the next 9 days, we aren't trying to find the missing pieces. We aren't searching the floor for the shards of the old me to try and patch up the holes. No, we are celebrating the emptiness. We are realizing that a man with a hole in his heart has a perfect place to store his rage. We're turning the nothingness into a weapon. They think I'm diminished because I'm broken, but I've never felt more expansive. I am a blank canvas with a bucket of red paint and nothing to lose if I make a mess. The normal world is so crowded with rules and expectations that there's no room to breathe. But in my void, in my beautiful, dark, empty void, there's plenty of room to stretch. There's plenty of room to dance. And most importantly, there's plenty of room for the fire to spread. Look at these marks. Look at them closely. The world sees a scar and they see a mistake. They see a blemish, a jagged line that ruins the perfection of the skin. People, they want you to hide them under long sleeves and heavy foundation, to tuck them away like a dirty little secret, so the neighbors don't get uncomfortable at dinner. Society is obsessed with the unbroken. Look, that smooth plastic sheen of a life, untouched by gravity. They think a scar is a sign of weakness, a permanent record of the moment you lost. But they've got the joke backward, as usual. A scar isn't a memory of where you were hurt, people. It's a map of where you survived. It's the physical evidence that the world gave you its best shot. It tried to cut you to open you up, to end your story, and yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, and still grinning. In these 9 days, we are redefining every single nick and tear. We are done being ashamed of the cracks. Have you ever heard of that Japanese art? Kintsugi. They take a broken bowl and they mend the cracks with gold. They think the breakage makes the object more beautiful. Well, I'm doing something similar, only I'm not using gold. I'm using fire. Those cracks aren't just damage, they are where the light or the darkness finally gets an entry point. A solid, unscarred wall is just a barrier. But a wall with cracks, that's where the pressure escapes. That's where you can peer through to see what's on the other side. My scars are my credentials. They are the medals I've won in a war they didn't even know was happening. Every line on my face, every mark on my soul is a lesson learned in the dark. They are the ridges on a key that finally fits the lock of this asylum we call a civilization. There is a profound, delicious difference between being and being forged. The doctors, the therapists, the helpful people, they want to heal you. They want to turn you back into the soft, fragile thing you were before the accident. They want to reset the bone so you can go back to being a productive little cog in their machine. But I don't want to be healed. Healing is for the weak. I want to be forged. When you forge a blade, you beat it. You put it in the white, hot coals until it glows with agony. And then you hammer it against the anvil over and over until the shape changes. You don't. Hell. The metal. You transform it. You make it harder. You make it sharper. That's what these scars are. The hammer marks of the universe. In 9 days, I won't be a recovered man. I'll be a sharpened one. People, I'm leaning into the jagged edges because those edges are what I'm going to use to cut my name into the history books. Let them keep their smooth skin and their fragile spirits. I'll take the scars every single time, because a man who can't be broken any further is the only one who is truly free to strike back. I used to want people to understand. Can you imagine? I actually cared! I wanted them to look into my eyes, see the swirling storm of my pain and say, "Oh, you poor, misunderstood man." I spent years performing for an audience that wasn't even watching, trying to get a passing grade in the school of normalcy. How utterly, hilariously boring! Seeking validation is just another way of staying broken. It's like handing a stranger the glue and begging them to put you back together. It gives every person on the street a vote in your existence. But I've had an epiphany during this countdown. If you're waiting for the world to tell you it's okay to stand up, you're going to die on your knees, staring at their expensive shoes. For these 9 days, we are cutting the cords. We are silencing the static of their opinions. You see, well, society has this little game they play where they get to decide what's sane, what's right, and what's acceptable. They hold up these little mirrors of expectation and expect you to fix your hair in them. But what happens when you smash the mirror? What happens when you realize that the jury is just as twisted and terrified as the defendant? The end of seeking approval is the beginning of true sovereignty. I don't need a doctor to give me a diagnosis. I don't need a hero to give me a lecture. These civilized people. And I certainly don't need a friend to give me a shoulder to cry on. A shoulder to cry on is just a place to hide your face so you don't have to see the opportunity in front of you. When you stop caring if they like the new you gain a terrifying level of clarity. Their disapproval is actually a compliment. It means you're finally becoming something they can't categorize. It means you're becoming an outlier. In this final stretch, civilized people, I've realized that my opinion is the only one that carries any weight in my personal asylum. Why should I listen to the advice of sane people who are miserable in their 9 to 5 cubicles, terrified of a bad review or a mean tweet? They're the ones in cages, not me. I'm done asking for permission to exist in the shape I've chosen. I'm taking back the power of the no. No. Bull. I won't fit in. No, I won't play nice. No, I won't explain myself. If they don't understand the joke, it's not because the joke isn't funny. It's because they're the punchline. By the time day 10 arrives, I will be completely deaf to their labels, monster, madman, villain, people. These are just words they use for people who have stopped asking for their thumbs up. These civilized people, I've realized that the only person I need to satisfy is the one staring back at me in the shattered glass. Once you realize that the world's standards are just a collective hallucination, you're free to create your own reality. And let me tell you, my reality is looking much more vibrant than theirs. This isn't a recovery Gotham. It isn't some slow, rhythmic healing process where I learn to knit sweaters and find my inner peace. No. This is much more explosive. This is a fuse. You see, when a man finally decides he's done being broken, when he stops trying to patch the holes and instead fills them with gunpowder, he stops being a person and starts being a catalyst. I've spent a lifetime being the one who gets hit, the one who gets burned, the one who gets burned, the one who gets stepped on. But a fuse doesn't care about the fire that lit it. It only cares about the destination. For these 9 days, I have been burning, sizzling, a steady, inevitable spark traveling down a cord, moving closer and closer to the heart of the city. Most people think of a breakdown as the end. They see the collapse and think the show is over. But they don't understand the chemistry of a transformation. You have to pulverize the old material before you can build something that won't break the next time. In these 9 days, I have been taking every bit of that old, jagged pain, the betrayals, the loneliness, whys, the scars, and I've been packing them into a very tight, very pressurized box. People, I'm not letting the pain go, I'm concentrating it. I'm refining it. I'm turning it into something that can level a building. On day 10, the world won't be meeting a man who got better. They'll be meeting a version of me that doesn't feel the sting anymore. The nerves are dead, the heart is cold, and the mind. Oh, the mind is finally clear of the fog. These civilized people, there's a specific kind of silence that happens before a bomb goes off. Have you ever noticed that? The birds stop chirping, the wind dies down, and for one heartbeat, the world holds its breath. That's where I am right now. I'm in the silence. The ticking of the clock isn't a reminder of how much time I've lost. It's a rhythmic drumbeat for the march to come. I'm looking at the calendar and I'm laughing, because while the rest of you are planning your futures, I am preparing for an arrival. I've spent years being the punchline, the guy who tripped and fell into the vat of misery. But when this fuse hits the end, the joke is going to be shared with everyone. It's going to be loud, it's going to be bright, and it's going to be absolutely hilarious. On the 10th day, the countdown ends. The transformation becomes a reality. I'm not the victim of the setup anymore. I'm the one delivering the punchline. I'm taking all this bottled up, forged, scar-covered energy, and I'm letting it out. People are so afraid of what happens when someone snaps, but they should be much more terrified of the man who decides to break the world back. I'm done being broken. I'm done being the tragedy. When that clock hits 0, I'm stepping out of the dark, and for the first time in my life, I'm the one holding the matches. The fuse is short, the air is gasoline, and I've got a very, very itchy finger. Tick, tick, tick. 9 days, I'm not the punchline anymore. I'm the one telling the joke.